I think governments are crazy.
I know ours certainly is.
And it is no music today. I don't have time for it because we got to get to this. 20 past 8, your morning. This is Monday, Thursday, National Cheese Ball Day, National Haiku Day. Good morning, Cindy, Joyce, Judge, Kathy, Brandy, Keith, Chris, Liz, Cynthia, Rod, Bob, Ruben, Daniel, Roy, Francis, Andrew, Amy, Harry, Leslie, Gary, Max, and Dabron. Darvo. That is what I expect from these county commissioners. Darvo. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. A reaction that perpetrators of wrongdoing may display in response to being held accountable for their behavior. And we're already getting some of that from some of the supporters of these county commissioners. Yesterday's meeting was an absolute cluster. And there's another word involved there that I don't use in polite company and I don't use on the air. But the bottom line boils down to this. The county commission yesterday not only wasted 5 hours of their own time, they wasted 5 hours times about 20 of department heads and employees' time. And the employees let them know. They were disrespectful. Very, extremely disrespectful. This county commission is basically out of control. And I let them know my thoughts. And among the people who did let them know their thoughts was probably one of the best county clerks we've had in a long time, Nicole Steffi. And yes, we're going to hear that now.
Greetings, commissioners. In case you haven't noticed or heard, 3 or 4 out of 5 of you are actively damaging the morale of the plus or minus 150 employees that you were elected to represent. Your uncontrolled comments, false allegations, and veiled threats made in public and in these meetings are severely deteriorating the confidence in each of our departments and for those of us who run them. During the course of this meeting, 3 of you have made assertions against people in this room that were false and were corrected by us. Why do you take this posture against us? Your refusal to communicate with us and work with us to better your understanding of how things work has caused delays in the efficiency of the county. Sorry, I'm shaking. The budget and this meeting are just one example of the decrease in government efficiency. When you got rid of the county manager, you slowed down so much more, and you will see that result very soon. In case you didn't know, your behavior has already run off 2 amazing and competent people, and more are plotting their escape. Whether or not you realize it, the fact is that your spreading of misinformation, public ranting about what you don't understand, and your deliberate ignorance will eventually create the crisis you have been so desperately trying to avoid. Believe it or not, everyone in front of you do much, much more than sit in these meetings. If you retain anything from the comments today that you're about to hear, I pray that it is that we do in fact play on the same team. We work towards the same goals, and we are all public servants who do our jobs for the good of the community as a whole. Our doors always have been and are always open. We desire to work with you, to consult with you, and to move forward as a county government with you. Please change your attitudes. Desire to learn, lower your haunches, and come see us. Get your questions answered and stop tearing down the reputations of the top-notch, qualified, experienced people of character and integrity that stand or sit in front of you. And if there's something keeping you from talking with any one of us, you need to get over it, because it is those things that caused this meeting today and these public comments. Choose to become a part of the solution instead of the problem before your constituents figure out what's really going on. Thank you.
And also commenting on was Treasurer Catherine Baccarat.
I do want to support what the people have stood up to speak have said. So good afternoon, and for the record, I'm Catherine Baccarat. I think that everyone in this room recognizes that we are currently going through a challenging time in how we're functioning, and that we all came today to try and be part of the solution to fix that. Tax dollars are collected so that we can provide core public services. I think one of the divisive, unfair, and untrue things that has been said multiple times here today is that we have departments that are essential and departments that you obviously don't view as very essential. But you're talking about departments that are mandated by the state because government doesn't run without them. The police and fire, which are the ones that seem to have no scrutiny of their budgets and no complaints about, I agree 100% with that, but they would not function without these other departments that you are delining, that you are devaluing. Okay? They're not going to function without the clerks. They're not going to function without the finance. They're not going to function without the recorder, the treasurer, the assessor. A lot of their money comes from those, a lot of their support for what they need done comes from those departments. So I think that's one thing that some of the department heads that are being discounted are feeling that pain. We're feeling that pain. When you look at somebody that's a department head and say, you know what, I trust you 100% that what you're asking for is needed. And you turn around and look at another department head that you have not even spoken to, have not found out why, done none of that back office research that is part of your jobs, and say, I don't trust you. You don't need a person. And I know that because, okay, so fair and equitable is one of your obligations. So I don't, either way, whatever you think is fine, but to try and divide or to effectively divide the department heads like that is really damaging morale in this county. So I would think that you would value all of your department heads, and the kind of conversations we're having today are not had unless you're in a financial crisis. Lincoln is in a financial crisis. These are the conversations you have where you cut things. When you have the money to do it, you're obligated to use it for the core public services. And if you think that the core public services don't include finance, don't include, all these other things, you're not understanding the entire process.
County Treasurer Catherine Baccarat. And of course, if you think this county commission doesn't understand the open meetings law, here's County Commissioner Hank Vogler speaking yesterday.
For the record, Hank Vogler, the people that asked me to run for this position are very heated about what's happened to their taxes, the assessments that have tripled and quintupled. Whether that's true or not, they felt they were not being properly represented. And the other people that have been put on this board for the same reason. And I realize that there are some wonderful people that work for this county. But there is also a disconnect, a terrible disconnect. And there's been a lot of condescension, patronization, and using the open meeting law to control the narrative. You can't even have a proper discussion without somebody wanting to control the narrative. And these things are happening too. So this is a two-way street. This is a taxpayer's money. These people are taxpayers too, but their property taxes are going up, and people come to you and maybe they have it a little twisted or not exactly correct, but it's not 110% people that came here to be vindictive. Most of the people that are here and being elected to these positions were elected to them because they've been asked the question, what in the devil's going on? So maybe there needs to be more public hearings, more representation by everybody in this room with not just their own personal interests in mind. Hell, you want my salary, you can have it. I don't care. I'm going to stay here as long as I can and I'm going to try and protect the taxpayers who put the money up for all these things. And right now, the biggest thing that is brought to me time and time again is our taxes keep going up and up and up, and they remind you we have the highest taxes in the state. We have special interest groups, and they do not feel like they're being properly represented. Have a nice day.
And Mr. Vogler is speaking for those special interest groups. Darvo, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. Gaslighting. That is what this commission is doing. 4 out of the 5 members of this commission ought to be ashamed of themselves. These are my opinions. You heard what happened. We played for you what happened. What happened in that restaurant, we don't know. But that's an open meetings law violation. You have to agendize a meeting of a quorum, and you have to have minutes available. Steve Kathan has CBS News up next. We'll take a look at business news and the weather. Your morning continues Monday, Thursday, also National Cheese Ball Day and National Haiku Day. It's 8:31. Good morning.